Ryan, you're here. We're here to talk about Street Fighter V because it is your thing. So let's talk about it.
Well, yeah, Capcom have elevated from Ultra, which was a franchise that went on for about 6 years in the Street Fighter history, and now it's Street Fighter V. And I think with Street Fighter V, a lot of the top players were a bit anxious because it's definitely something that is really different from Ultra.
Right.
And that can either be really good or really bad because maybe it's something that's up your street or not really your cup of tea. And
yeah, very well done there.
No pun intended, but yeah. Okay.
Is it the fighting style, or is it the way you max your combos, or the way you get your supers together? It's
the complexity of the system
of
the game, yeah, and that all plays a part in how deep the psychology in the combat is. Because if you're playing,
that's a big thing in the game,
and there are only so many things you can expect from your opponent, then there are less layers in the depth that the game has.
Right.
And I think a lot of the players were worried that Street Fighter V would just be too simple because they've taken sort of like a back step to introduce a lower entry level barrier for, you know, up and coming players and stuff like that.
I think it's needed though, because it'll get more of an audience in money. I mean, getting in Raw at Ultra, it's about a few years. You're like,
it has been a while, yeah.
That's the thing though, because you still want to keep your veterans in so that they can kind of show everyone what it's all about, and you know, and it's nice if you get into something and you know that there's people out there that can show you things and introduce ways to play or ways to think and stuff like that, to know that you're not alone in just like the whole progression period. So it's great that they're bringing out something new. I personally had some reservations in the beginning because when I saw the game, it looked really, really basic, and I wasn't sure if it would be enough, if it would be stimulating enough for the brain to have fun with.
Graphically, it looks very impressive.
Yeah,
I was very
impressed with the graphics. Really nice BGM score as well. It's really coming along nicely. I mean, they've changed it a lot over the beta tests, and it's really looking good. I had a bash on it on Monday at the Capcom office, and I used a lot of Ken, and he's really flamboyant. You know, he's got a lot of style in his gameplay, and I'm really enjoying the game.
The taunts and stuff, are there a lot more taunts? So you know, I know you like to.
I haven't really seen many taunts specifically, but I'm sure they'll be in at some stage.
Please tell me they're going to throw in one where somebody's flipping somebody else off. They got to throw that in. Why not go a little bit more, a little bit more edgy? Like flipping somebody off or giving them a thanks, guys. Thanks behind the camera. I'm getting flipped off now. Cheers.
I think they want to sort of look out for the PEGI rating on that one.
The younger audience.
What is it based on now, the PEGI rating? Is it 13? Because it is quite strong animated.
Sure. It's strong violence, but there's no blood, so that will play a role.
So no more combat style.
And then I don't think there's any strong language either. So gestures as well. I don't think there's any strong language in there.
So we won't get to see anybody flip. Maybe we could do a mod on the PC version where we could flip people off. I don't know.
Yeah, so it'd probably go as a 12 or something. It is fighting, so 12 plus or something like that probably.
Out of did you get to play any of the new characters at all?
There were a couple on deck that weren't allowed to be selected, so we couldn't play Fang, the new Chinese character, and
which is Bison's second, isn't he? He's like
that's right. Yeah, part of the Shadowloo management. And there were a couple of new stages that we weren't allowed to select on stream either.
That's interesting.
So but it's good that they're teasing us. They're sort of drip feeding us with stuff, so it's cool.
If you're comparing the new style with the old style, what do you prefer it?
Well, I've always been a really technical player, so I enjoy when there's a lot to master. I enjoy when there's sort of always that thing you're trying to get good with and to get used to. Street Fighter V didn't look like it had anything like that at first, so I was really worried. Like, I've learned all this stuff on Street Fighter 4 for years, for 6 years since 2000, 7 years, 2009. 2009. So it's 7 years of just mastering one system, and then now they've brought out 5, and it's like, oh, that's all gone, and now we've got to get used to this. But basically, the fundamentals that we've learnt on the previous iteration do kind of transfer over. And now, having spent a bit more time with it, I've realised that it is really deep as well, and there are new things in the system of the game that you do have to practice before you can master them. So I'm really looking forward to.
I was going to say, you're used to being the master, so are you looking forward to a challenge now?
It's nice. It's nice to go back to the drawing board, just complete blank canvas mentality again, forget what you know from other games, just go into it like that. And it's really nice to have that to look forward to, because once you've learnt most of the meat of the old games, it does get a little bit boring because you know that you know it all and there's not much more to get from it. You're kind of wringing the sponge out to just get anything new going, and after a while that becomes really strenuous. So now that it's all fresh, it's like, what do I do a bit of that, and there's just so much to play with. Yeah, so that's really good.
What do you think? We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The guys know about the new controllers. The fact that you've got to spend out again for your new favourite pads. Do you think this is like?
Oh, that's never a fun thing. I mean, it's always like, well, I've already got all these controllers. What am I going? One, why have I got to shell out? And two, what am I going to do with these old ones?
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's always been a thing. But I guess to some degree, some things will be transferable. I mean, you can already use your Xbox 360 stuff on Xbox One and a lot of PS3 stuff on PS4. So maybe it won't be the case for every single player. Maybe they've got a stick that's already compatible with the next one. So
how do you feel about as well that Street Fighter 5 is a multi-format? Sorry, so it is just on a couple of formats this time instead of it being straight across the board. Do you think that's going to alienate a lot of players?
No, it's good. It's good. The fewer the better, because that way when you're travelling to a tournament, you know what peripheral you need to bring, because you know what console it's on, and
as an esports
player.
Because if you're trying to travel for events, it's really annoying if you have to bring multiple things, or if you're not sure, or if this event's on that, then the week after there's something on that, because with the conversions there's different timings and stuff like that.
Of course.
So it always takes a bit of practice on a specific version to get your 100% A game going.
What is your system of choice when you're playing?
When I'm playing Street Fighter, I actually really got used to the Xbox.
Okay.
It had the larger community. When I started on Street Fighter 4, I did play on PS3, but then I realised that everyone had sort of migrated over to Xbox, and I was like, why would you want to pay to play? Because it was free on PSN back then. And but obviously you go with the community because you want that competition. Yeah. And they were all on Xbox, so I sort of jumped over to that. Okay. Then Sony had the deal with Capcom and brought it out on PS4. Yeah. And then Evo was announced for PS4, so we're like, right, we'll get onto that now. And a lot of players didn't really get to practice because they don't have a PS4, and it's not always something that's in everyone's reach to have one. So
probably what a lot of the people at home would want to know as well is, because you've been playing Street Fighter for quite a while now, being a vet, what is your favourite version of Street Fighter? If you could put it in a box, so if you can't, give us your top 3.
My favourite version of Street Fighter, just personally speaking, is Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Okay. I really enjoyed that version. I like the speed of the game. I enjoyed the parry system. It was really, again, technical, and there were always things there were always things you had to master. You could never be the best at every single thing you could do, because some things were just literally like borderline impossible to do, especially in a real match. So I don't know, and I think that the speed of the game, I really enjoyed the fast pace, and the parry system meant that the balance of the game was a lot better, and it didn't completely balance it out, but it helped a lot. So that would be my personal choice.
Do you want to tell us about a bit of the Evo stuff that's going on? I mean,
yesterday.
Controversy.
I was going to say there's some controversy.
There's been some anticipation into what would be the lineup for this year's Evo, and yesterday. They've announced that Street Fighter 4 won't be at this year's Evo.
People must be losing their shit, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess for players who weren't that interested in 5, it's going to be a big blow for them, you know, just bombshelled like that.
Because they've been training like 8 months to do their Street Fighter 4 game, and I was like, wait, 5? What? The fuck?
Yeah. Especially as there are divisions in the ranks. You've got your casual audience, you've got your slightly more serious audience, and then obviously you've got your pro players. But for those ones who haven't really had that time in the limelight, that are up and coming for this year to be their big time, must be really gutted now, because it takes a lot of work and effort to get to that stage where you're ready to take on any
game. I mean, even dare I say it, League of Legends.
But when you're to get to that place where you're ready to take on the pressures of a big stage, it can take years. You know? And then even then, things can happen. So I really feel for those players. As a pro player myself, getting ready for the tournament, I like that there's only one game, their newer game. I actually feel that having both games mars the evolution of 5, because you're having all the players having to sort of juggle their time and priorities to balance their skills on both games, and you're going to get professional players that are sort of watered down on 5 because they haven't had the time to better,
So it's going to be kind of like more like a free-for-all, isn't it?
It depends, I guess. To the because of the fact that each community is so divided, and you are limited to who's around you and what access you have to online, who you have access to online.
A big subject as well at the moment is the esports arena as a whole. Where do you see it going in 5 years? Because it has just exploded, isn't it? You've got like £1 million prize money, when it used to be like 300 quid on your bike.
And even
it's
your
bus
like a big deal. What, 100?
Yeah. So where do you feel it's going, or where do you think it's going?
5 years, yeah. It's already come so far, with big corporations like Red Bull involved in that. Like, it's difficult to say at the moment. I do see something more mainstream happening though, because you're getting more and more entities get involved and more corporations invest. So it can only go sort of that direction.
WWE does esports. They'll do like plot lines and there'll be like EastEnders but esports stuff. Can you imagine it?
Sky's the limit.
Coming out like rings and stuff. Yeah. Okay, all right. But yeah, no, it's cool.
Well, that's
If I was to start out on Street Fighter 5 or any kind of Street Fighter, who should I play as? Now I like speed and up and close. I don't like Dowsing with like the long stretchy legs. I don't like any of that stuff.
Okay.
Ken was always my go-to guy.
Yeah.
But that's when I was playing Marvel vs. Capcom.
That's when you had long hair.
Yeah, that's when I had long hair and a ponytail, yeah. Back in my surfer days. But yeah, Ken was always my go-to guy.
Yeah.
But he's a very different animal now, isn't he? So would I still go for Ken or would I just switch it up?
If you're comfortable with what he felt like when you used him before, I'd definitely start with him, because he's fundamentally the same character. It's just about learning the new things and how to, sort of utilize the system of the new game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ken's a good go-to character, and you'll have that comfort zone because you know what he's about. So
Okay,
I think you
cool.
should go with that.
All right, nice.
I think, but otherwise, if you hadn't ever played the game, I'd say you should go with try a few different characters and see who feels good, and then go with that character, because I think fun is going to be the best thing you should be trying to get out of the game at first. You shouldn't be trying to I'm going to be the best. I think you should just try and enjoy the experience first, and then once you're at that place and you're thinking, well, I want to take it a bit further, then you can ask some other questions.
Last Street Fighter 5 or last Street Fighter related question, I promise, right? If you could pick your top 5 characters, because it's got people ask
you've got to have it.
People ask it.
Okay.
Who would you pick? Top
From
5?
Street Fighter 5?
From any Street Fighter. You should go across the ages. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can choose it on storyline.
Yeah.
You can choose it on skill or your favourites or whatever.
Character profile, whatever.
Yeah.
I really liked Eagle in Street Fighter 1. I thought it was a really classy character.
Classic.
I like the braces and the sticks. I like Sagat.
Yeah.
He's a character I'm quite
because you can be cheap with him.
Can be really cheap.
Tiger uppercut.
He's not cheap. He's got one eye. What do you expect from him?
Yeah, poor depth perception.
Yeah, should want to spectator, isn't it? Anyway, so Eagle, Sagat. I like Evil Ryu as well. I like how technical he is in Ultra. I really appreciate that character. Who else? It's a tough one. 5. What'd you say 5?
You can have 3.
Yeah, 3. Go on.
3.
Get 2 more. So I'm gonna be really. Yun. I really liked Yun in the Ultra series, in Street Fighter 4 series and in Third Strike as well.
Okay, yeah.
So that's 4. One more. And Dowsing, just because he's annoying and runs away from people and makes them want to hit the machine. Yeah, it's brilliant.
All right, well there's Ryan's.
He's very charitable. He's getting water for his country. That's awesome.
That's cool. Is that his latest storyline? Is now.
That's what he does. Yeah.
Right.
Actually, you know what? Back in the day when I had never completed Street Fighter 2 with Dowsing, it was a big deal if you could do it with Dowsing because it was really hard. I actually just lied and told my mates I'd done it, and they were like, "Really? What happens at the end?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that." So I just made up. I was like, "Yeah, actually, when you clear with Dowsing, he gets on an elephant and goes back to India." And then one day, like 2 years later or something, I actually did it, and he actually gets an elephant.
Well, there you go. Thanks to racial stereotypes, he got it on the nose. That's brilliant.
I told the truth afterwards. I was like,
I didn't complete it. Yeah, one of my greatest achievements, very quickly, Street Fighter Alpha 1. I completed it on hard and then got to do the Bison fight with Ryu and...
Did you win it?
I did.
Put it there.
Yeah, man.
Nice one.
That was lots of swearing. I think I literally launched a TV out the window at one point. I can't quite remember, but yeah, it got a little bit naughty. Yeah, super thumbs.
So you're a pad person then, not a stick person.
Well,
I kind of a mix. I mean, with Tekken, I was more of a
stick,
more of a stick, but with Street Fighter because I grew up with pads, I kind of always used the pad.
Natural.
Yeah. I think it would be very difficult to maybe not just to make the jump to.
There are players that have a lot of trouble with the transition.
Right.
Yeah, from either to either.
Because I'm very slow, it'll probably be a very bad trend. So that pad will be snapped in half and thrown out of a window, just like everything else gets done. All right, man, that's brilliant. Thanks very much for talking to us. Street Fighter. Let's move on.